What's up, farming family? How y'all doing today? Today, we're going to be talking about the newest series from Pickleball Apes. It's the Charm series. Essentially, it's an all foam core, has little dices all the way through it, which is supposed to make it flex and add more dwell time. It also has foam inserts in all four corners, but it doesn't have like the thermoform foam ring in it. It's just got four corners of inserts. I'm going to try to put a picture up, but I have a discount code with this company. It's 10% off if you use the code FARMER. I get a kickback from that. I always let you guys know that. But yeah, let's get into this review. There's a couple things I want to talk about throughout the review compared to like other paddle reviews, like specifically who this would be, recommended for the most. But yeah, let's get into this, y'all. All right, first thing I want to talk about is the pop. Is this considered an extremely poppy paddle? In my opinion, I do not think so. I think this is one of the more controllable, foam paddles currently in the market. The ball sits in the face for a really, really long time. There's a lot of dwell time. It feels really, really plush. And then in terms of power, I would probably consider this at the top of all court, possibly debatably being at the low end of the power category, but I feel more confident putting it at the top end of all court. This isn't going to blow you away like some of the high end power paddles will, but this one will be better probably for more people. Now, when it comes to the control, out of most of the foam paddles, these are probably the second or third most controllable out of all the foam paddles I played, with essentially the True Foam Genesis and the dyed-in blue cores, the regular blue cores, being more controllable. But these fall in line like right behind them in terms of control. These are a lot easier to control than a Bread and Butter Loco, the Selkirk Boomstick, the Luz paddles. There's so many paddles that are harder to control than this. So I would recommend this to some 3.5 to 4.0 players before I would recommend power, to be honest with you. And in terms of spin, the X had 2,130, the S had 2,178, and the V had 2,192. Like I say, anything over 1850, I would be okay with taking out and playing with. But lately, I'm probably going to bump that number up to 2,000 because basically everything I'm testing and reviewing now is going over the 2,000 threshold. So I'm probably going to bump up the average of what I expect from paddles going forward. But yeah, these are good spin numbers. And that's what you expect. There's a lot of dwell time and there's grit. Now, in terms of swing weight, the X had 123 swing weight, the S had a 115 swing weight, and the V had 110 swing weight. Okay, for all three of their shapes, they're a little bit head heavy in terms of the swing weight. Like there's some elongateds that are definitely lighter, there's some hybrids that are definitely lighter, and there's some standards that are definitely lighter. I play with the standard and the hybrid. With those two, I didn't feel a drastic difference compared to the other paddles that I'm currently playing with. There is a little bit of difference, but it's not going to be enough to hurt you. The one you're really going to notice is probably going to be the X. It was 3 or 4 points higher than a lot of the other elongators that are currently on the market. But some of those paddles, like the Quanta R3, you have to add lead tape and stuff too. But this one right out of the box is readily to, you can play with it the way it is. When it came to the weight, the X and the S were both 8.1 ounces out of the box, and the V was 8 ounces out of the box. And when it came to the twist weight, the X had a 6.27 twist weight, the S had a 6.41 twist weight, and the V had a 7.31 twist weight. Okay, overall in terms of twist weights, there are going to be some paddles that are going to have better twist weights than these do, and there are going to be some paddles that are currently coming out that are going to have worse twist weights than these do. I would put these on average in terms of their category for twist weight. They're not going to be like, oh man, this is crazy good, and you're not going to be like, oh, this is garbage. It's just right in the middle of the road. And I would honestly say the same thing in terms of the sweet spot. Now, when I was using the V and the S, I did add a little bit of lead tape to the sides of it to broaden that sweet spot out a little bit, mainly due to the fact that the sweet spot I don't think is quite as big as the Bread and Butter Loco. But with that being said, it's as good as a lot of the other paddles that are on the market. It's not going to underwhelm you. In terms of swing weight, twist weight, and sweet spot, I would call it average, realistically. Do I think it's worth it? All right, let's talk about it. It's a $200 paddle. With my discount code, you get 10% off. I'm comparing it to paddles that are controllable in terms of foam, would be like the Blue Cores, the Carbon True Foams, although those are definitely softer, more control-oriented paddles compared to this. But if you're comparing it with other paddles similar to that, and it's almost like $60 or $80 less, yeah, very easy to recommend. I realistically think 99% of players should be using paddles like this and not like the boomsticks and the other super poppy paddles like the Luz paddles. Most people are going to do better with the Charms. I dropped a video not too long ago, or a little short, where it's like a 2.530 was talking about wanting a power paddle. You don't need that. Get one of these or get another control-oriented paddle or all-core paddle and work on yourself. Work on getting better. You don't need all the power. I know it's addicting. Everyone else is doing it. People like jumping on trends. But yeah, that's how I feel about this paddle. Overall, it's a really good paddle. This is a top 10 paddle for me. I'm going to be dropping a top 10 paddle video sometime at the end of December. And I'm thinking about dropping, I don't know. I'm gonna leave that in my pocket for now. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I hope y'all have a good day. Y'all stay safe. Drink plenty of water. Peace, y'all.